than they were before. So Adolf Hitler was spending a lot more time inside this bunker. Now at this point, the Russians, they're making their way very steadily across from the east, direction Berlin. Now when Adolf Hitler's down inside this bunker, he completely refuses to believe he's losing the war. So he's down there, he's planning strategies with armies he no longer has, and he's blaming his generals for the various defeats of his armies. Now it gets to April time in 1945. Now Adolf Hitler had a very close guarded secret, and this was his mistress. Her name was Eva Braun. She moved into the bunker and...
That explains a lot.
Yeah, right, yeah, there you go. April 28th, they get married. She finally gets to become Mrs. Hitler, and they have a very small ceremony. In this ceremony, you know, they are asked, are you of true Aryan descent? And of course they say, yes, of course we are. Then he goes into another room where he dictates his last will and testament with his secretary. And one of the things he says in this is that he was forced to go to war because of foreign Jewish interests. Now, it does get to April the 30th. At this point, Adolf Hitler has realized that he has lost this war. The Russians are all up the top. They're slowly taking over Berlin. Now he decides he doesn't want to be captured by the Russians. So what he's going to do is he's going to take the easy way out. He's going to commit suicide. And the way he's going to do this is by swallowing cyanide capsules. Now to make sure these little capsules worked, he first of all tried one on his dog, Blondie. So of course it worked on the dog. Him and Eva Braun, they then went into a private room together. They sat down on a sofa. She got dressed up in his favorite black dress. And of course they bit down on the cyanide pill. But to make sure he finished the job, what he also did is he simultaneously shot himself in the head. Now before dying, he had very strict instructions as to how his body was to be disposed of. He didn't want the Russians to find his body and parade it around like some kind of a war trophy. So what he did is he got his SS guards. Now the SS guards, they were kind of like the elite guards of the Nazi army. They brought his body up to the surface, they doused it in petrol, and of course they set fire to it. Now because there was a lot of Russian artillery happening around this area, they didn't want to hang around too long. So they gave a very quick salute. They ran back down into the bunker, which meant the fire of the body wasn't able to be tended to. So it didn't completely disintegrate. So when the Russians did find him, they were able to identify his body through his dental records, of which he also had a very sweet tooth. Now I think what we have this area that we're standing in right now, I think this is really kind of seen as a place, a site of historical interest. Not necessarily a site of historical importance. That is why, guys, we are standing in a car park. Does anyone have any questions?